And he made no statement, but he was there representing his party because that individual had come from his party, had been promoted as the political leader of his party, and that individual was selected as a vice ruling mate for the ruling party, for the opposition party. What happened? The following week, he was asked to resign.
But how
And
do you see that? Do you let's focus on
yeah,
your platform. If you were to be the president and under your administration you have such, what will you do?
if I'm the president of Liberia,
Mhm.
on my
And one of your
administration,
ministers or director.
one of my directors or one of my ministers, by the way in which the president was appointed, based on an arrangement representing his party in my government, and his party leadership is invited for a program, and that individual serves as the chairperson of that party, and the person attend that program, that person will not be dismissed by me.
And the party
Because
is no longer in the marriage.
whether it's in a marriage, until my tenure is over, then you can say the party is no longer in the marriage. Because when you look at the Minister of Youth and Sport, the Deputy Minister of Administration is from the same party. So if a party is no longer in the marriage, that person should be out. When you look at the Deputy Minister of Administration is also from the same party. So the marriage is over, that person should have been out of there now. Almost all of the ministries, about 6 to 7 ministries in this country, you look there, you realize that the deputy ministers were also part of the same arrangement.
I know you have a lot of things on your plate for the Liberian people that most of you politicians will say, but I just want you to name 4 many things you have on your plate that you think could bring the change Liberia has been yearning for. 4 of the many things.
So let me just focus on the pillars
Okay.
on which Liberia First Movement is grounded.
Okay.
That is one, reconciliation. We believe that in the absence of unity, in the absence of reconciliation, you cannot have the Liberia we deserve when you are divided. That is the first thing we'll do. Our first 100 days will focus on how can we reconcile people. So all of those who took part in the election, we get to them. We want to see the platform you have. Look at your platform, what we think is good for Liberia. We borrow that from you. We say, okay, you have a very good proposal for the finance or economy of this country. Who wrote this thing? Then can you recommend somebody to us from your party that actually produced the document? That person is the architect of that document. We include the person.
So that means you don't have a very substantive, information, working tools of how you want to run the country.
We do have. It's cool.
Do you think time will be in your favor to be reaching out when you are elected as
When
president?
I'm elected as president, by December,
Reaching out to people to see whether they have documents to know.
I'm already aware of all the parties' platform.
How?
We share. Liberian politicians, most of the parties have almost similar ideas. We have experts in some people in other parties.
Then why do people have these kinds of proliferation of political parties when you have the similar ideas?
Guess what? When you see 19 candidates coming out contesting against one president, 19 candidates in one election, that is a clear indication that the people of Liberia are unhappy.
No, but there were numbers to in past elections.
No, that never reached 20 number 20.
Okay.
In past elections, we had numbers, we never reached 20. So let's just go back to what the question asked about platform.
Yeah.
First is reconciliation. We believe that to have a better Liberia, the Liberia we deserve, we must be reconciled citizens.
Why will reconciliation be so important? In a sense, we don't have war. Decade now ago, we are living in harmony. Who have forgiven those of the people that created lots of harm in our country, like people like Senator Winston. He's moving freely. And you don't have people doing things that they are not to do. And you stay talking about reconciliation. Listen to say we have war yesterday.
Yes, we do deserve reconciliation. Reconciliation in the absence of justice is no reconciliation. Reconciliation in the absence of accountability is no reconciliation. In our reconciliation program, we also focus on establishing the War on Economic Crime Code. Okay. That is also part of reconciliation. Because if the people must come together, there must be reason for them to come together. So those who have committed crimes, when they are punished, the next generation will see it as deterrent and avoid being criminals. Whether war criminals or economic criminals, they will avoid that. So reconciliation is the first thing we'll focus on. Second issue is what? Empowerment. We have a citizen rate where we have 65% young people. Today, 65% of our youth, almost 25% of them have become drug addicts. Not because they want to be, they choose to be in that, but because most of the universities, when students graduate from colleges, they graduate from high schools, there's no job for them. And most of the companies say you must have 3 years job experience or 5 years job experience. How can one have 1 year job experience, 2 years job experience when he or she has not been given the opportunity to work? While you're in college, normally there should be like 3 years, internship. When you're doing your sophomore, you begin to do internship, junior internship, senior internship. So when you graduate, you will have the qualification to have to be employed. So there's no criteria, there's no easy way for someone to be employed. So as a result, most of the young people, because of peer pressures, those who don't have connection in government to be connected with somebody in government or to be active in politics,
Go to the
they
next
get
one.
nothing.
You
The
said
third one,
reconciliation. The
reconciliation.
second,
The second
the
is
first,
empowerment.
no, you just the first one you just named
The first one,
empowerment.
is reconciliation.
Yes. So the next one
The
is
next one is empowerment.
empowerment.
You cannot have the Liberia yourself when the people are not empowered. And how do you empower them? You have to provide your people quality education. You have to.
Is it that this government is not doing such?
So if you ask me what I would I do, I'm
Mhm.
not discussing what the government has not done. We
No,
will
you
come to
want to
that.
bring something
Yes,
new that someone has
this is
not
something.
done. That's
Yes,
the reason why
let
you want
me,
to come.
because we don't have much time. Let me get.
No,
Let
we
me.
have much
We don't
time.
have much time. Okay, let me explain what we
Mm.
have. Then after that, you can
But
ask
I
me the
need to
question.
ask you too because I want
This
the public to
government,
understand.
this government
You
has
want to
not.
talk about empowerment.
Yes,
Very good.
yes,
And you talked about education.
yes.
So I'm asking you, has this government not been able to create the enabling environment in terms of education?
Seku, not to our expectation.
Okay.
Not to our
What
expectation.
what was your
What
expectation?
our expectation is, this government, we expected this government to prioritize vocational and technical education, where the most of the young people will be able to have skilled.
Mm.
So everyone will be focused on politics. So people will be able to focus on careers that they have learned from their schools, okay, whether from the colleges or from the high schools. Once you have the opportunity to train them in other skills, they become useful. So when you have somebody trained as an engineer, when you have companies to do role, you already have people who are prepared for that. But today, most of our youth will not have employment because they do not have the skill. So empowerment becomes the second thing. Thirdly, what are we looking forward to? Is accountability. We need an accountability between the government and the people. Those who are serving the people, they should be accountable to these people, and those that have been served, they too should be accountable to the government.
Mm.
And the fourth one is development. Road is development. Road construction is development.
Mm.
Infrastructure development is also development. Hospitals is development.
Mm.
Schools are development. You understand me? So all those major tourism is also development. So these are the four things we're looking after. Also agriculture. Agriculture is very essential in our developmental the policy. So these are development. So what are the policies we have? We have three policies.
Mm.
One, we want to see a decentralized government, which we had before. We had to reverse to that, where mayors, superintendents should be elected by the people,
Mm.
where people don't have to leave from Maryland come to Monrovia to get a passport. They remain right there to get a passport. Two, we want to have a detribalized nation. Liberia, during its formation, was not funded as a state for few tribes. It was funded as a state for the African people. So we want to reverse to that to have a detribalized policies, and which will help our other African brothers and sisters, those in the diaspora who do not speak any of the languages in the dialects in this country,
Mm.
to be part of the system. Thirdly, we want to have an accountable government cycle. We want to have a government that, will, for example, if somebody is the head of MTA, he won't be embarrassed like how my good friend was embarrassed a lot of time at the Senate.
Mm.
He will have record on exactly how much is he receiving as a budget, how much is he spending. Once you have idea on these things, you know how to defend them. But imagine, we have ministers, we have managing directors, we have directors in this country. They have budgets allocated to those institutions, but they cannot defend those budgets. And so let me tell you something today. Liberia, the reason why every time we electing people, those that participate, you made mention of some of the alleged war criminals.
Mm.
We will continue to elect them in this country as long as we don't have war and economic crimes established in this country. We just serve a deterrent so that all the future leaders will not look at them as an example. Because today, most young people see these people as mentors, as examples, as leaders. So the next generation will think, if Senator Johnson became senator
Mm.
through being the warlord, I too can become a senator but through being
So the
another
next
warlord.
thing about on your platform, you've named two of the major ones.
Yes. We need a four. We say
The third,
reconciliation, empowerment,
mm,
accountability,
okay,
development.
development.
Yeah, development is the fourth one.
Mhm.
And in development, we have agriculture. What do we intend to do with agriculture? We want to show that to create PPP between private-public partnership.
Okay.
The government of Liberia will have partnership with local farmers, where we invite it, those who are importing rice now. We encourage them to be part of it. Under my administration as a president, after 90 days, all rice import license will be canceled.
90 days?
After 90 days, will be canceled, and we encourage them to go and have partnership with local farmers. We'll provide them land. We'll give them waiver, tax waivers to say, what? Bring your equipment for rice mill plant. And when you have the rice mill plant, we'll give you 2, 3 years. You don't have to pay tax. You buy rice from the farmers when they have harvested. You buy the crops from them. You made the rice. You sell it locally, like what is happening in Nigeria. The government of Liberia, under my administration, will be responsible to import rice, not adding any interest on it. The taxes being paid to government after that, the rest of it will sell the rice with the actual price of people. So we will have a stable price on the market while our present importer will be focused on going to industrialization. And those who are not importers that have interest will also encourage them. So what we do, we partition the country into five. Northern Liberia, Southern Liberia, Eastern Liberia, Western Liberia, and Central Liberia. When we look around, we say, okay, in Western Liberia, what works there is cassava.
Mhm.
We have a cassava mill plant there, two, three, to
Mm.
focus on that, where we produce cassava and turn into many other things like starch, whatever. There are a lot of things, even medication. Then we look at the Lofa Belt and places like Nimba and use these two places for rice production. When these people are producing rice, then we look at other countries and say, what? This area will focus on cocoa or coffee. Better in the next 2 years' time, Liberia will become self-sustainable. Then we go to the industrialization of the mining sectors.
Mhm.
We look at Silometer. The agreement you have for with Liberian, with our government, we want to revisit it. We want to review it. We want to have Liberia Steel Factory, Liberia Steel Manufacturing Company
Do,
in
do, do
Liberia.
you know that when these laws are made, they are laws that binding the government to
And
live up to it?
when they are not in the interest of the people, the same law can be reversed in the interest of the people.
So many days I'll see you going to court, your government going to court.
Oh, yes. And we win the
But how do
case.
you go and start to,
We
cancel
will not
agreements?
cancel. We will not cancel the agreements. We will revisit the agreements
Mm.
to put it in the interest of Liberian people. How will you be producing iron
Mm.
ore? We don't have a steel manufacturing plant in your country. How will people become to Liberia producing palm oil in Liberia? Then you buying you importing oil, vegetable oil to come to Liberia. We are saying to them, we're not stopping you for doing money in our country, but we are encouraging all companies that 20%, minimum 20% of your exportation, the iron ore that will be exported by you, 20% will be sold on the Liberian market. We use that for Liberia steel manufacturing plant. So imagine we have private-public partnership with that. That company,
Mm.
those that are into concession can also be part of the company. So we will begin to have a steel industry in Liberia. Our students, when they graduate, as they have skill, they already have a job. They don't have to cross to go to Europe to find job there. They will have job in this country. We look at the gold. We try by all means to have a gold refinery in this country, where our gold will not be taken from this country illegally to taken to any other place. All those that are doing gold mining in this country or that are doing gold exportation, you must all pass through the Liberia gold refinery. No gold, no ounce of gold should leave this country without going through that process. Liberia should have at least 20%. When you have 20% gold reserves at our central bank, It helps to improve our economy. It also helps to add value to our currency.
You politicians will say these things. When you are elected, you don't do them. Let's move on to
S-
this thing.
Seku,
Mhm.
these things were what that made me to leave the CDC. I'm a businessman. Seku.
Leaving the CDC does not in any way mean that
It means
all
a
these
lot.
things you say
Seku, it
you
means
will
a
do
lot.
them.
Seku, it means a lot. You know what it means?
Mm.
Someone who spent 12 years with a political party, there's no record that this individual received $1 for anything for campaign.
Some
No,
of
let me
the
tell you something, Sekou.
mm,
We must be honest to ourselves.
mm,
To say the child will take care of you,
mm.
you will know when that child is small. When you get the child money, he buys biscuit. He come to share the biscuit with you. You will know the child will do something. I left.
Some of the
I
reasons.
left the party that I loved up to
Mm.
now. I still love the CDC because I know what it stands for. But I left it not because CDC had bad policies. I left it because those who are in leadership, they are not prepared for implementation, and that's what we left it.
Some of the reasons why some of the folks in CDC would say that you left the CDC because CDC did not support you to run in Montserrat County.
No, when my sister Polita Wee was contesting, I was eyeing at the time. I campaigned for her from place to place. So how would I get angry with that?
What's the possibility of you winning presidential elections in Liberia when you cannot even win a Montserrat senatorial election?
That was the same question that President Weah was asked. You lost the seat. You went for the presidency, you lost. You went for vice presidency, you lost. What's the possibility now after losing this vice presidency that you can win the presidency? He said, I believe in myself. I believe in what I stand for. And my people have tried me once. They have tried me once. They have tried me twice. And they decided to elect me as a senator. They saw it and they brought me on board as a president. I can tell you, as Abraham Lincoln was rejected so many times,
President Weah was elected then,
listen,
but you've never
as
been elected.
Abraham Lincoln was rejected
Mhm.
so many times to become a congressman, at one time he went to the presidency, he was elected.
You've never been tested,
President Obama lost primary.
mm,
Primary.
but they
He
were
lost
tested.
primary. You were tested. I have been
They
tested.
were elected. You've never been elected.
Then when Abraham Lincoln was never elected,
I'm speaking
he
of your
was elected
case.
later as the president.
Mm,
But Sekou, let me tell you something today.
mm.
Moses, was he elected when he took over?
We don't want to be biblical
No, you
here.
can't be biblical. These are examples here. Like Sekou,
We're talking about reality. You won't
when
be
you opened
biblical.
this station,
Uh,
when you began to own this station,
mm.
had you owned any station for yourself before?
I've worked to other stations
You
and
what? I mean, I'm asking you, had you owned a little or a smaller one to this?
I had the mindset and I wanted to have it and I worked towards it.
Thank you. Sekou,
Mm,
Sheikh Ali Mustafa Kuyate
mm,
has the mindset,
mm,
had and still have the mindset.
mm.
And that is why he left a ruling party because it was not in the interest of the Liberian people. Because what he believes, that's what he stands for today. That's why he's running for presidency. When he becomes president, that's what most of the time. I'm the one that go to propagate the message. Most candidates don't do that. They have people that go and give the message because what will happen? When they lost the election or when they win the election, they say, well, the thing I may say, I didn't say it. Look, President William, when we were campaigning for him, we say he was a high school graduate. We say he was a university graduate. The day he had a chance on the radio, you know what he said?
Mm.
He said, information they gave you was wrong. I'm not a high school graduate. I'm not a university graduate. And there, people began to love him so much because they said, this man is sincere.
So this is the thing. It sounds much more embarrassing, but it's good to ask you.
Yeah.
Are you a married man?
Oh, yes, Sekou. I've been married for the past 23 years. Blessed with 8 children.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where are they?
My kids are here.
Where do they live?
They live in Broadville. They
Because
live
you
Broadville.
politicians will take your children out of the country at the end of the day, you won't be giving.
Sekou, everything I own in my life,
Mm.
I've never owned anything through politics. Since I was born, I have never worked in any government institution.
Mm.
Never. I remember Minister Eugene Nangbe, Commissioner Eugene Nangbe now, when he was Minister of Youth and Sport, he gave me official passport.
Mm.
I still remember.
And
He
you
said,
stay bare of a.
no, 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 no. That was the time of Madam Salif. Since President Weah took over, I have never hold any official passport or service passport, diplomatic passport. I've been using my ordinary passport and moving from one place to another. It was only, and I always say that to him. Thank you. He wasn't up. He was in ruling party. He was in opposition, and he saw what I was doing. He said, "You know what? What you doing? I think you need some international recognition."
If you go to the election October 10
Yeah.
and you don't win the election, is it possible, will there be any second thought of you pledging your party support to the re-election of President Weah?
Sekou, I'm not in election because I'm against an individual. But we are in the election. We have 19 candidates in the election going against President Weah because they believe that President Weah has failed the Liberian people. Because they believe that President Weah didn't promise much. He's the only Liberian president that was elected without the people making any demand. He was elected by the people believing and loving him. And the reason why you see President Weah on the ring today, ring beat him, he completes the police dancing, because he himself realized, he acknowledged that he has failed the people. Sekou, the president we are know, the president we are know, will not allow his passport, the nation passport, diplomatic passport, to be traded like grumpy. The president we are know, the president we are know, will not allow Honorable Finder to travel with him with a mere allegation. You will say, you know what? Stay here to put the Minister of Justice to go through the process. President Weah, I know what I love him. And let me confess something today. President Weah is the one that brought me to politics.
And you're still going against him?
Yes. He brought
You're
me to
being
politics.
deceitful.
I'm not going against him. What he told me, he said he stands for Liberia. The principle for which he stood for yesterday is what I follow today. President Weah said to me that when he become president, you will have an inclusive Liberia. When you become president, he will not elect you, and will not appoint you because you're a relative or because you're a tribal man. He will appoint you based on your qualification.
So I ask you the simple question.
Yes.
Will you pledge your party support to the re-election of President Weah if you go for the first round and your party fails to reach the minimal percentage of running for the second round of?
Second, the reason why I'm not answering the question, you're subjecting the question to President George Weah, who I do know.
Okay, so who will you support when you go for second round?
When you go for second round, any two party that goes for second round, it can be.
Okay, let's say Unity Party and CDC.
When you say Unity Party and CDC, it reminds me of a story that was told of my daughter. You see, when you have my daughter asked me a question like that, like you just asked me. We have two dark rooms. One of the rooms is occupied by a living serpent, a cobra, and another one is occupied by a dead man. Papa, where will you sleep? So that is the answer today. CDC is like a serpent in a dark room. Unity Party is like a dead person in a dark room. Second, when you are given the chance to sleep in one of the rooms, where will you sleep, second?
You should be telling me.
You will sleep in the room of the dead man instead of sleeping in the room of the serpent. Because you know what? The dead person is lifeless. He is not harmful nor helpful. But the man was the room of the serpent is a room of that is harmful. It is not helpful, but it's harmful. You see it? The other one is not helpful nor harmful, but this one is not helpful at the same time, also very harmful. Because the serpent will definitely bite you. So in
short, it shows that the taste for CDC has lost.
Sekou is not CDC. Sekou is
no, but you just said that.
Yes, it is not CDC.
If
it is not, you know what makes a lion? It is not the body. The head of a lion. When you take the head of a lion and put it on the body of a sheep, that sheep will be referred to as a lion. President George Weah, if any president in Liberia ever owed the Liberian people, it's President Weah.
But many think that President Weah has done much than any other government in the past.
I agree with you. President Weah have done much by taking the young people from being called Zogo to make them to be consumers of drugs or kush. Yes.
Do you
President
have,
Weah has evidence. I have evidence. I saw a video. Guess what?
Every one of you people buy into this propaganda.
It's not a propaganda. I saw a post from someone very close to President Weah.
Who's that person?
Where's the phone?
Call the name.
One of my little brother. I don't want to call
what the name of the person.
The person is one of the heirs to him.
What the person name? You won't be a friend. You presidential candidate.
I'm not a friend.
Call the name now.
What I'm saying, I'm not
call the name.
Calling.
Then you shouldn't have said it.
This individual posted on his page.
We might not take it to be
called Damaro.
That Hindu
posted on his page that it say John Weah brought Kush. Well, Joseph Baka consumed the Kush, making the sleep. They come say, they come complain. Then who they come saying who should we blame?
No, but all these things are political.
That should not come from someone very close
to
the
president. Political time here. That campaign time though.
If your people come on the street and make a pronouncement that even though we have a masked man who is the CEO of our company called Sekou Sharif, and you have another person who is sick, call this name. Sekou, they have unveiled you as a mad person.
No, but the thing here is that campaign time and the
So,
other people
but
then
Sekou,
saying all
that's not
kinds of
it.
things.
You can say different things. We cannot say that the president, you cannot use kush for the president. That is campaign time, Sekou.
But
Sheikh Kuyate would never say, refer to President Weah. Huh?
you think you cannot, but it should not be decided by you for others.
Sekou, what I do know,
Mm,
this opposition is a very mature opposition that we have. This opposition we have, I can tell you, these are responsible men and women
mm,
contesting for this presidency. And we have all come to a conclusion that whoever wins this election will be seen, accepted, and respected by us as the president of this country. We will not support any form of violence, but while we are going through the election, there are concerns that
mm.
must be addressed.
Do you have the belief that we're going to have free, fair, and transparent election?
I do not believe. There are indicators why I do not believe it. One of those indicators are, one of the indicators is the National Election Commission chairperson
Mm,
declared that there were people who voted, they were underage, who
mm,
registered as underage, who registered underage.
mm,
She also allowed that there were people who registered multiple times.
mm.
They reduced the number. Up to present, National Election Commission has not displayed those names that voted, that registered more than two times, more than one time. Up to present, National Election
No,
Commission.
the National
Let
Election
me come in.
Commission did a cleanup
No,
exercise.
Sekou, let me come in, Sekou.
Mm.
National Election Commission has not displayed those underage people that register to say these are the names that were underage, that we reclaim their name from there. Up to present, they said they have done cleanup exercise.
Mm.
They cannot show to us those names that were cleaned from the system. And I'm telling you now, Sekou, from an intelligent point of view,
Okay, Honorable Sheikh Al Mustafa Kuyate from the Liberia First Movement. He's the presidential candidate. He wants to be president of Liberia. He's speaking tonight to speak to you Liberians. So to see reason, let me give you a meaning you can run campaign because we're in a campaign period. What is your number on the ballot paper?
fellow Liberians, I'm the 10th commandment in this election. I'm number 10 on the ballot paper. Sheikh Kuyate and Dr. Mais Babeli,
Mm.
President, Vice President. We believe that when we are elected as president of this country, we unite our people, we empower the citizenry, not just the youth, even the disadvantaged people, the disabled community will be included in it. We create an inclusive Liberia with ensure to have an accountable governance system. We also ensure that development will be part of our agenda for the Liberian people. We will be a government for the Liberian people. We will not be a government based on LFN or any other party, but for the Liberian people. And those who will be working in our government, they will all be Liberians, no matter your party. Once you know that you are qualified for a job, you'll be included in our government. And those that are being employed as civil servants, they will be protected. We ensure that their salaries be increased. We will focus on national security. We know very well when I was in Sano, in the entire southeast, I saw just three police pickups. It was very scary. And I've also realized through my investigation that the entire state doesn't even have 50 vehicles for the entire state, not the police.
Okay.
And recently,
Mm.
while on the campaign,
They
I've
say,
seen.
I say, man, talk to the people. You
Yeah, I'm
talking
telling the
other
people,
one.
no, I'm talking to them.
Tell the people to vote for you.
I'm telling them to
Other
vote
one
for me
talking.
because this man who is seated as the president, he's not doing well for us. And because he's not doing well, that's why I have availed myself. That's why others have availed themselves. We're asking you for your vote. When you trust us with your vote, we can commit to you and tell you that indeed will serve you.
Can you win President we are in election?
Sekou,
Mm.
I can win President we are in election.
When will you be launching your official campaign?
Sekou, it should have been actually the 24th, this coming Sunday. But we got a communication with NEC that we cannot come on the 24th, that we should choose the next Sunday, which is October 1st.
Okay.
October 1st, we'll be launching in Monserrato County.
Where?
Stephen Tober field.
Okay.
Then on the 8th, we'll be closing in Bond County in
Okay.
Banga.
How many representative candidates and senatorial candidates do you have on your ticket?
On our ticket, we have 30, and we also have other counties who have independent candidates. They are run about 50.
No, and independent candidates they
Yeah.
are not from your
But we have 13 on our party ticket that are
Mhm.
contesting for representative position, and we do believe that all of the 13 we have people elected, by the Liberian people.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to the lines. Listen to Liberians on 0770 907 907 907 Honorable Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate, presidential candidate on the ticket of Liberia First Movement, is my guest on the show tonight. He wants to be president of Liberia,
Hello,
this person.
Secretary.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. You are live.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much, and thank you to the guest in the studio, Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate.
Mm,
Yeah,
Thank you, my
I'm
brother.
Prince B. Masakwa, coming from Guankima country,
mm.
Ravispo to be precise. I'm viewing through Facebook. Uh, you know, I believe in Sheikh Kuyate because he's one of the men that I believe in that his developmental guru developmental economy, and I believe in humanity and humanitarian that really comes for us to vote. And we are doing everything possible in Fatima country, at least for win a senator, one of his aspirants running on his ticket.
Thank you. Let me take another person here. Hello.
Uh,
You just need to move from your monitor, sir.
I'm
Hello.
sorry,
Go ahead.
Brother Daniel, district number one, not the other.
Hmm.
Uh, you spoke well. I'm saying thank you. But one of the things, the question I asked if he did not make it to the second round, what would he do? Honestly, the responder, the dead person in the room and that of the second. But I want to say to him, well, man, please, do not go to the second, neither went to the dead person. Please, just in case, please come to the ANC. Thank you so much.
This person. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Civil Sherry and our studio guest.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, Civil Sherry, I'm Bernard Diva, and I'm calling from King Johnson Road.
Hmm.
I'm a silent listener of the show. This is my debut also.
Go ahead.
Uh, Mr. Kuyate,
Yes, my brother.
actually, so tonight you are giving admiration. You are book, you are book. So you are giving us support. I'm Bernard Diva, and I'm flying in from King Johnson Road.
Thank you. Another person. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
My name is Marvin County and Cardwell, Township of Cardwell.
Hmm.
So quite frankly, listening or started listening to me, I think I was fascinated by those information that I decided required. And I would like to be a part of this movement.
Thank you,
I would like to have his personal contact, and after the show, I'll give him a call.
The man can maybe
Also,
president when he announce a number on the radio.
sir. No, share my number there.
Okay. Okay, he will do that. Let me take my good friend and brother Napoleon Duque. I know he wants to participate on the show. Not.
Oh, second, thank you. Let me say good evening to your many listeners in your studio get.
Mm.
I like the brilliant analysis and the policies your studio get has on its platform. But what is driving my attention tonight is the issues of the National Election Commission.
Mm.
Up to present, you got the 19 more days to election. We have not done the final publications to know for people to know whether they are qualified to vote, where will they be voting.
Thank you.
What it is really for people to create more doubts about with their processes. But now you sort of public the verification can let people know what is going to be voting. Up to now, you are not doing it. And the election laws call for that.
Thank you, brother.
I think political party needs to be calling on there to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me take this person here. Hello. Okay, we shall go. Let me take this person. Good evening.
good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Let's hear you.
This is my history. I'm calling you from Japan.
Go ahead.
Where you see people with this serious important. People that check we are another kind of people that are going to George Julia.
Why you say so?
You see the election that people can go for election. They get participant, they get contested. Except we are telling participant. The person that even pray, the community is living in, he can't even community chairmanship. And the president say he will wait George Julia in. The man he contest us. Então, e posso lá do cara, ele liga de uma tela de voto. Liga de bem de voto. Se tu é lá na potência do jogo, lá na potência bem. Por aí, com o voto,
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Even though you didn't come in clear, but then we managed to have listened to you. Hello.
yeah, Shakir, Shakir Sharif, I'm Prince Matakwa, my question goes to Shakir.
Go
Though
ahead, my
you're
brother.
asking, yeah, though you're asking a question about what will he do if he didn't make it to the second round and which of the political party will really goes for this. I'm going to repeat the question. Which of the parties you think will be very good if the opportunity is not existed? Which of the political party you prefer?
Okay, I'll respond to that.
Okay, thank you. He's taking down your questions. Hello. Hello. Let me take another person. I'm going to take a few more calls, then we'll call it a day so that we can go to our guests to respond. This person. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
This is the Kid Aqua.
Mhm.
It's a student to go here. Hopefully, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
All the thing mentor that all is man. I go ahead. The way you can be. Anyway, that's it. Let me take roughly two more calls and then we call it a day on the show as we will move on to our guests to respond to some of your concerns you've raised and all of that. But let me do this. Okay, let me just because no time the news is up next. Should I take this call? Okay, let me just move on here. Then we call it. Hello.
Hello,
Yeah. Good evening. Let's hear you.
this is Mohammed. I'm calling from Johnsonville.
Hmm.
Thank you very much, you created. But even your flower without saying industry number two, particularly we have where I live. How we market you? How we talk to our brother?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, listen to
Let
the
me go to
callers.
Seku. My brothers, hopefully tomorrow you have more flyers in your place. The people are printing flyers, and tomorrow you have some in your district.
Mhm.
And we thank you for your support. And the gentleman I explained that you have now won this community, have never contested for us community, I contested for the central seat. And the five big names were called in the election. I was among those five names. And I should be all proud that Sheikh Kuyat, not a politician, but a statement, has been doing very well when it comes to Liberian politics. And another gentleman was asking, okay, how can we get to you? The message is very clear. The message is for the Liberian people.
Mm,
What number can we call you on?
mm,
So you can call me on WhatsApp.
mm.
Zero
Why
eight.
if people don't have WhatsApp?
You don't have WhatsApp, you call me on my direct number.
Just call the direct
Yeah, so
number.
say you have a number, you call the number to the people.
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
you get more than I know full fact. Don't let me talk you.
So on a
Uh,
serious note,
uh,
fellow Liberians, this election is not a competition of tribes,
mm,
nor is it a competition of religion or competition of class. It's based on a competition of ideas. I'm encouraging you all.
mm.
Let us be peaceful in these elections. Let's respect whatever results come out. But as we wrote the National Election Commission about our concerns, we're also asking federal Liberians to join us, to see how we can have a redress on it as soon as possible.
Mm.
We don't want a situation where somebody will be people will come out after election that the election was rigged, and that we believe that this is the best time to make a correction. So Liberians, people, whoever becomes the president, become the Liberian people president. I am a candidate. I'm not against any individual. I'll come on a platform. My duty is to tell you what I want to do for you. And I pray that you vote for me. But when you don't elect me, whoever you elect, I will serve that person as a private citizen because I promise never to accept any appointed position.
Okay, thank you. Is that all you have to say to the Liberian
Yeah,
people?
that's all I have to tell them.
Thank you, Sheikh Kuyate, for coming, and we hope we can have these kinds of conversations always as we move ahead. But you need to call the number.
Yeah, my number is 0775 35
Mm.
772. 0775 35 772.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's all the time we've got to be here. We're taking our colleague Patrick promote, and tomorrow we'll be back on the show to continue the issue about market business center and other important issues on the show. My name is Sekou Sharif. Many thanks to Daniel Saliv in Kakata, Margibi County. who's there at Voice of Liberia branch for also making us to be live in that part of the country. And also many thanks to all of the producers here, Abraham Tanti, Weah, Patrick Sa, and the likes of other people. Tomorrow we'll be back here on the show, inshallah, with the blessing of our parents.